Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're opening up the case file on what is honestly one of the greatest medical mysteries of our time, and that's dementia. For decades, whenever we talked about cognitive decline or memory loss, we instinctively just looked right at the brain. I mean, it makes total sense, right? But what if the actual scene of the crime isn't entirely in our heads? What if some of the most absolutely crucial clues to preserving our minds are hidden somewhere completely unexpected, like our gut? Well, get ready because we're going to dig into some groundbreaking clinical research today that just might change the whole way you look at aging. I mean, really, think about it. Could the secret to cognitive health in aging actually be hiding in your stomach? It's a fascinating question, and it completely challenges the traditional textbook view of dementia as strictly a brain disease. So instead of just zooming in on neurons and synapses today, we're putting on our medical detective hats. We're going to map out this incredibly intricate web connecting stomach hormones, microscopic bacteria, and brain function to see how they're all tied together. Section 1, the gut-brain connection. Okay, let's dive into this. The gut-brain axis is basically this massive two-way biochemical signaling network that runs between your GI tract and your central nervous system. And the drivers running this whole network? Trillions of microbes literally living inside your gut. You can think of them as an information superhighway. They secrete metabolites like short-chain fatty acids and these really biologically active molecules like serotonin and dopamine. Essentially, they act as the bridge connecting our external environment straight to our internal brain health. They aren't just along for the ride down there. They are literally steering the ship. Section 2, meet the suspects. So our primary suspect today is acylated ghrelin, or AG for short. Now, you might actually already know ghrelin as the hunger hormone that your stomach secretes, but when ghrelin undergoes this one specific chemical modification, producing AG, it doesn't just make us hungry anymore. It actually becomes a critical messenger. It travels all the way up to the brain, and it gets intimately involved in regulating things like spatial memory, cognition, and even neuroinflammation. So yeah, a hormone born in the gut that profoundly impacts the brain. Section 3, investigating the aging mind. To really test this out, researchers over at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences wanted to see if they could find a tangible, real-world link between gut health, this AG hormone, and dementia. So they set up a study and recruited 80 participants, all over the age of 60. Then they carefully split them up into two distinct groups, 40 patients who had a clinical diagnosis of dementia and 40 healthy, age-matched controls. Their setup was beautifully straightforward, but honestly highly advanced. Step 1, rigorously screen the participants to make sure no underlying issues like head traumas or strokes were clouding the data. Step 2, compare the cognitive scores of the dementia group right against the healthy controls. Step 3, draw blood to analyze the exact levels of that hunger hormone we talked about. And finally, step 4, collect stool samples to sequence the DNA of their gut microbiome. Basically, they were hunting for clues in both the bloodstream and the bacterial environment of the gut at the exact same time. Section 4, uncovering the evidence. And wow, when they actually compared the two groups, a totally stark contrast emerged. In the healthy controls, they found much lower levels of the acylated ghrelin hormone, paired with this incredibly rich, high diversity of microbial species in their guts. But over in the dementia patients, the exact opposite was true. They found significantly higher levels of AG, and at the same time, the rich diversity of their gut microbiome had basically crashed. It's this wild inverse relationship. As the hunger hormone spikes in dementia patients, the bacterial diversity in their gut just plummets. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clearly it visualizes that divide. If you look over at the chart on the left, those purple dots represent the dementia group. You can clearly see they have way higher AG levels and a much higher ratio of acetylated to unacetylated ghrelin compared to the healthy controls, which are the teal dots. And this wasn't just some minor random fluctuation. The age-adjusted ratio was totally different. The researchers even noted that this spike in AG might actually be the body trying to compensate for underlying neuronal damage or neuroinflammation. Section 5, the microbial network. Okay, let's treat the microbiome like a bustling, crowded city for a second, so we can map out the social networks of these bacteria. Look at network A up top, representing the healthy controls, and compare it to network B on the bottom, which is the dementia group. These map out what's called co-occurrence, basically showing us which bacteria like to hang out together. In the healthy network, you've got these model citizen bacteria acting like the mayors of their little communities. But when dementia is in the picture, like in Network B, the entire neighborhood completely restructures itself. It literally pushes the good guys out to the fringes and lets completely different, potentially harmful bacteria take right over the center of the network. To make sense of this shifting city, we've broken this complex network down into a simple lineup: the good bugs versus the bad bugs. The absolute standout model citizen here is Prevotella copri. It's this great anti-inflammatory, short-chain fatty acid-producing bacteria that was found in 100% of the healthy control group. It's essentially acting as a neuroprotector. On the flip side, we have our prime suspects, like Blautia obium and Bifidobacterium adolescens. These bugs were totally dominant and central in the dementia network. In fact, Blautia obium showed a really significant correlation with lower cognitive scores on the clinical exams.
Section 6, Future of Dementia Care.
So the researchers took all of this data, the clinical scores, the hormone levels, the abundance of 53 different bacterial species, and they fed the whole shebang into an AI neural network model. They basically asked the computer, can you predict which patients have dementia and which are healthy? And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer power of the gut microbiome. Out of this massive pool of data, the AI relied heavily on just 14 specific types of gut bacteria, plus the cognitive scores to make its decision. And get this, in their test dataset, this model was 100% accurate at classifying dementia. As the study authors themselves concluded, the circulating AG and associated gut microbiome might be a putative biomarker for dementia. The really crucial takeaway here is that we are rapidly moving toward a reality where diagnosing cognitive decline doesn't just rely on brain scans or answering memory questions. Looking at your gut bacteria and measuring your stomach hormones might very soon become a standard, highly accurate way to diagnose the health of your brain. Which leaves us with this final, honestly profound question. If dementia isn't just a brain disease, but it's a gut disease too, how is this going to change the way we treat our aging minds tomorrow? Could things like highly targeted probiotics, specific dietary changes, or hormone regulators be the actual key to staving off cognitive decline? The gut-brain axis is proving to be an absolutely massive frontier in medicine. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the microbiome. Keep feeding your good bacteria, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.